Critics have accused President Bongbong Marcos and his family and allies of historical distortion about the martial law dictatorship. And joining us now live via Zoom is history professor Francis Gealogo. He is the convener of the group Tanggol, Kasaysayan. Good morning, Professor. Thank you for joining us here.
Good morning, and good morning to the viewers of New Day, CNN Philippines.
Now, Professor, Tanggol Kasaysayan is one of the groups that vows to fight disinformation and historical distortion. Tell us exactly how rampant are these so-called face facts, especially in the age of social media? How big is this problem?
It is a very serious problem, considering that a great proportion of our population are relying to get their information from social media sites, no? And platforms, which unfortunately are not academically vetted. So anybody can post anything, and unfortunately, a significant number of historical distortion are happening through these platforms. No? And in Tanggol Kasaysayan, we view it as something that's coordinated, organized, and institutionalized. No? It's not simply a matter of an individual posting something that distorted our history. It's something that's more organized than that. So it's really very rampant and serious as a problem.
Right, it's a whole machinery on its own, it seems. Tell us, what kind of historical distortion exists nowadays? How exactly is it being done? As you said, it's very systematic.
Yes, actually, historical distortion was and is really nothing new in the country. You know? Remember, martial law thrived also in the control of information and in the proliferation of authoritarian values, no? Packaged along the lines of Bagong Lipunan. But what is something new in this particular period is that the idea that the martial law years was a golden age in Philippine history, that there were no human rights violations in the country, that the ill-gotten wealth of the Marcoses was not reality. All of these were actually refuted by the courts and by documentary evidence as coming from the major researches by the historians. But still, the narrative that somehow repackaged and rebranded the Marcos dictatorship and the Marcos family's role in plundering the country in the massive human rights violations somehow was being peddled through the proliferation of these social media posts that distorted our history.
Right. In her acceptance speech for the Nobel Peace Prize, Maria Ressa said, without facts, you can't have truth. Without truth, you can't have trust. Without trust, we have no shared reality and no democracy. What is your group planning to do moving forward, considering that young people, well, not even just young people, but the old as well, really take to social media, and many of them, that is their number one go-to for information? How to help fight disinformation then?
Well, we recognize Tanggol Kasaysayan is composed of academics, researchers, historians, and enthusiasts in history fighting against historical distortion and for the advancement of historical truth. Most of us are institutionally based in universities, but we recognize the limitations of the four walls of the classroom. Hence, we also amplify our quest for historical truth and defense of historical truth through social media. For example, since August 3 up to today, we have posted 50 daily doses of history called 50 Takda. We have also fact-checked a lot of posts regarding distorted narratives on martial law and the dictatorship. I'm also part of Abacada, Academia at Bayan Contra Disinformasyon, that provides daily social media posts on Facebook, in Twitter, and now we're venturing into TikTok as well to give our netizens their daily dose of historical truths, as we mentioned. And this afternoon, we're also part of Cinquenta, which will be happening at 4 p.m. At the University Avenue in the University of the Philippines campus in Diliman. Tanggol Kasaysayan is one of the organizational conveners of ML50, a network of academics, human rights advocates, survivors of martial law that grouped together and banded together to present a real picture of the history of martial law and really force this government to recognize the horrors that we experienced during that the dark pages.
That's right.
In our history.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for speaking with us this morning. We appreciate it. That was Tanggol Kasaysayan convener, Professor Francis Gealogo.